All right, greetings everybody. I am doing another one of these live demos of some of these different apps that I've kind of had in the queue and been meaning to review. Actually, a lot of these ones actually came from my Wilkes students. I recently taught the Internet Tools for Teaching Wilkes class again for the Discovery Education Wilkes instructional media program. And during it, the students, not only are they playing around with a lot of different web technologies, but they're also learning how to evaluate them. So to that end, they're supposed to try and find some that they haven't seen before and do some reviewing and, through a creative rubric and so on. This was one of the ones that one of the students shared with me, and being an early childhood educator, it kind of jumped out at me. Now, I haven't played around with this one with Ruby just yet, but honestly, Ruby's the one who I kind of thought of first. I mean, I think Aiden would probably get a lot of benefit out of it as well, conceptually, but you could be doing this with kids as young as 5 or 6 years old, I think. I'm not sure how far they could go into it, but anyway, we're going to delve into it. The site for the day is called SolveMe Mobiles. Now, SolveMe Mobiles, and let me switch over so you can see what I'm talking about. There we go. So you should be able to see my screen right now. It's a site about using mobiles and balancing things off with any sort of scale or balance. If these ones over here, and you can see my mouse, yay, I got that fixed. If these ones weigh too much, then it will be out of balance. So the idea is you want to have both sides of this string right down here in the middle. And you can't really see that too well. So I'm going to zoom in just a little bit over here. Zoom in, zoom in. There we go. Both sides of the string should be balanced. So, you know what I mean? So that way, both, whatever. Let me actually get into it because it's driving me crazy that you couldn't see that one little line. So I got to figure out how to make the screen capture just a little bit cleaner. Those are the kinds of things that totally distract me. Now, mind you, I'm going to be reviewing SolveMe Mobiles, but I'm also trying to figure this whole screen capturing and broadcasting thing out. And just like last time, we're broadcasting on Facebook and on Periscope and on Ustream and on YouTube all at the same time. So hopefully wherever you are. Oh, and I can see I've got about 9 or 10 people on Periscope. So hi, Periscope folks. Glad you have you here. And if there's people on Facebook, I'm not really seeing you right now. I'll look at your comments all later. You don't care. Anyway, here is SolveMe Mobile. So we're going to start off with the most absolute simple one, puzzle number 1. Okay, so here is puzzle number 1. And you can see the grand total of the two sides is going to be 10. We've got a circle on one side. We've got a triangle on the other side. How we're going to balance these off. So if I put in the number 2, and the number 2, technically that is balanced, so it's going to show them being even, but when I click submit, no, that's not quite right, because 2 and 2 isn't going to total up to 10. Now, I want you to see what happens if I change this to 5. Now, do you notice? Now, all of a sudden, the circle is 5, the triangle is 2, so the circle is going to weigh more, so it's going to show this isn't balanced quite yet. So I'm going to go ahead and put in 5 over here. Now they are balanced. Now, is that the right answer? We can click submit. And you heard the little fancy stars, and you can see that I got this one right, and I can click on Next Puzzle. Now, this one's a little bit different. It doesn't show me what the grand total is, but it does show that these two sides are going to be balanced. There's a purple diamond on one side, green heart on the other. The green heart is 7. So what do I need to put in the purple heart? Obviously, 7. And it's good. Remember, if I put in something less, like 5, it's going to show the green heart is heavier than the purple diamond. So you need to balance that out. And now it's balanced. I can click start. Let me submit, and it's going to go on. Now, they're going to keep getting slightly more complex. So, like right here, grand total is going to be 8. You've got these, what do you call it? Trapezoids. Trapezoids? Oh, I hope that's right. Otherwise, I'm going to be totally embarrassed. But you got 2 of them on this side, 2 of the orange ones on this side, and they are 2 each. So now all of a sudden we got to figure out, all right, so 2 on this side, and then how we're going to do that. And they're going to keep getting more complex. Now, I like this. When you get to puzzle number 4, it's going to give you a little tech tip, okay, which shows you down here in the corner, we have a little eraser. And yeah, if I zoom in anymore, you're not going to be able to see it. We've got a pencil and we've got an eraser. So I can click over here and I can get that pencil and I can say, all right, so this is 2 and there's 3 of them. So I can go like that, and that's going to equal to 6. And then over here on this side, that's going to be 2. So it's going to be 6 minus 2 equals what? If I put in 3, no, that's not balanced. If I put in 5, it's going to be balanced the other way. If I put in 4, there we go. It's nice and balanced. And it's going to let me go on to the next one. You see what I mean? So it's actually teaching sort of these algebraic concepts without calling it algebra. It's kind of a sneaky way to do it, and they keep getting more and more complex. A lot of these puzzling games people like so much because, you know, the puzzles keep getting more and more complex, and they keep adding new styles and new layers and new complications, and the kids need to try and learn some new concepts in order to keep moving forward and to see what the next puzzle is. In this instance, they've got a lot of puzzles. You know, the basic ones go up to 32, 60, up to 60 or so, and then you start getting into the more complicated ones, and then you start getting into the master ones. I mean, take a look at some of these. 148. Do you think that you could solve this one? You know what I mean? So you've got 4 different variables to solve for and 2 different equations that those variables are going to fit into. That is some complex stuff for a kid to figure out. But when you don't let them know that this is algebra, then all of a sudden they start wanting to play with it more. You know what I mean? Now, even once they get past all of these different concepts, there's still another layer for them to tinker around with, and that is to actually build their own. The builder allows you to say, all right, so I've got my little thing right there. I'm going to choose a red heart. I'm going to choose a orange circle. I'm going to make the red hearts be 2, and the orange circles are going to be the mystery. So I'm going to drag the heart over to there and attach that. I'm going to drag the orange circle over to there, and now people need to figure out how you're going to balance that off. Now, if I wanted to, I could drag another orange circle, and then all of a sudden you can see how it's going to affect the formula, and I could make this one as complex as I would want. Now, what you'll find is your students are going to make ones that are way more complex than they're initially probably able to do. And when I actually went into here and started looking through the community ones, look at some of these community ones the kids have made. I mean, it's almost more artwork than it is anything else. But some of them are actually completely doable and are incredibly complex. So the nice thing is they can, in addition to just doing these sorts of challenges, after they get to a certain point where it becomes a little tedious, they can actually start making challenges for each other and sharing them. Now, you may need to rope them in just a little bit because they're immediately going to try and make this as complex as possible. But, you know, let them. Let them see to the point of frustration. Make sure that they can solve their own puzzles. Because more than likely, they're going to start off making puzzles that they can't even solve. But before they're allowed to give it to somebody else, they have to be able to figure it out. And then, well, you get the idea. It's a neat toy. It's a neat game, if you will. And what it actually reminds me of quite a bit is, some of you may remember on the iPad, an app, it's actually a series of apps now called, by DragonBox. And DragonBox basically aimed to teach kids algebra very, very simply. Not algebra, calculus, actually. Technically, it was calculus. So they're learning equations. So in order to go to the next level, they had to balance the equation. So in this case, you've got the black 5, the white 5, and when you put them together, they would kind of, black hole out of the way and balance each other off, and then they kind of kept getting more and more complex. And the beautiful thing was, these kids are teaching themselves algebra and calculus and all sorts of other mathematical concepts without realizing that that's what they're doing. Then all of a sudden, when you start teaching it in class, I don't care what method you're using, Common Core, this or that, whatever, it's already going to be familiar to them. It's already going to be familiar to them because they did it in, sort of this gaming sort of way. So, SolveMe Mobiles, once again, it's another one of these ones where it's not going to necessarily raise test scores, but what it is going to do is it's going to get you out of the worksheet drill and kill sort of mentality. It's going to be a way for kids to practice mathematical concepts in a way that they're going to enjoy, where it kind of keeps leveling up and making it more and more complicated, and then it gives them that open, unended, structured environment where they can start creating challenges for their peers, which allows them to kind of keep taking it to the next level, to the next level, to the next level. And I will also say, one thing that I did notice is when you actually start looking at some of the ones that people have made, if you note, do you note how artistic some of these are? They're not just math problems, they're art. And which kind of gets into that whole STEM sort of thing. You know what I mean? It's not enough to just make a complex mathematical problem. Can you also make something beautiful? Something that someone could step back and just appreciate for what it is. Anyway, that is about all the time I've got right now. I apologize if you're on Periscope or Facebook Live that I've not been looking at your comments in real time. I haven't figured out a good way to watch for those and be able to respond in the moment. So for right now, at least, I'm ignoring all chat and just going to do these reviews straight through and try and keep them to about 10 or 15 minutes. If you enjoyed this, I'm going to be posting this to Teach42.com. And I'm going to be trying to do these about on a daily basis. You can also check out my review of Sutori from Friday. That's also on Teach42.com, and they're all going to be kind of archived there. I'm going to try and start making some, video playlists and video archives of these different reviews and start going through some of these other ones that I've discovered in the more recent weeks and such. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you have special requests, send them over my way, or just any feedback at all. I would love to hear if you enjoyed it, if you did enjoy it, if the sound was off, if the video is off. Send me any and all feedback, because it would definitely be helpful. So until the next one, take care, everybody, and I appreciate your joining me, even if just for a few minutes today. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, and if you're just getting back from winter break, I'm with you. Stay strong. Bye.